It's been a big couple of days for the Menendez brothers. Lyle Menendez appearing before a parole board today that will ultimately decide whether he'll walk free. The brothers serving more than 3 decades behind bars for the killings of their parents back in 1989. Erik Menendez's parole was denied yesterday due to misbehavior in prison, including repeated use of a cell phone. Let's bring in Vinoo, Harvard Law visiting faculty and criminal defense attorney. Vinoo, good to see you. Welcome. I want to start with Erik Menendez's parole being denied yesterday. The commissioner said, who was on the parole panel, he said the primary reason for the decision was not the seriousness of the crime, but Menendez's misbehavior in prison. He cited, like I mentioned, repeated use of a cell phone, alcohol abuse, gang activity, fights, even a tax scam. How much does an inmate's behavior inside the prison factor into parole being denied like this?
Well, to the extent that the parole board is even considering letting someone go, if you have that kind of disciplinary record, it's lights out. You're not getting it. And so there are many cases all around the country of people being released, and sometimes people with bad records, or sometimes very bad people. Like O.J. Simpson was granted parole. And one of the reasons he was granted parole was because he was, during his 9 years of his 33-year sentence, considered a model prisoner.
Erik's parole was denied for 3 years. Our Brian Ensign pointed out he's eligible for parole again in 3 years. What does he need to prove to the parole board to be eligible for release?
I mean, he's going to have to, turn from being a gangbanger in prison to becoming a choir boy. So I think that there is a lot he's going to have to do to fix this application. Look, this whole movement has gotten steam because of public opinion or the TikTok, craze or following this case. So, he's got to ride that wave and clean himself up while he's there.
All right, let's talk Lyle Menendez, his brother. He's going before the board today, very soon, in the next few hours. What do you think that will look like?
Well, unlike Erik, Lyle Menendez, according to a report that one of the local Los Angeles television networks got, that they found in this report, quote, Lyle Menendez has demonstrated significant rehabilitation during his 30 years of incarceration, receiving high ratings in various work supervisor reports. This is ABC News 10 in Los Angeles, and maintaining a low risk classification score. They talk about his positive disciplinary record, extensive educational achievements, and leadership roles within the prison community. And they say highlight his transformation. So, I've heard people say because he's the older brother and because he was the ringleader of what happened, of the murders, that he's not going to get it. But if that parole officer, that official, is talking and looking at what they've done in prison, Lyle Menendez could get released.
The parole board has classified both brothers, Lyle and Erik, as a moderate risk for committing violence if released. Do you think this plays a role when the board is determining whether they're eligible for release right now?
Sure. Let's think about where they were, though, right? Convicted of gruesome crimes. So to be classified as moderate shows that even Erik has come a long way. His other violations, notwithstanding these violations in prison. So yes, I think that to the extent that they're going to give these guys a shot, and there may be some people who are sympathetic, but Erik heard his own case.
Vinoo, I do want to pivot to a breaking story we've been covering all afternoon. The Justice Department releasing transcripts and audio recordings of Ghislaine Maxwell's interview with AG Todd Blanche. I want to ask your take on the DOJ's decision to release a transcript now. What do you think of the timing?
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see. I had spoken a lot about Ms. Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. So, it's going to be... Look, I actually know Todd Blanche. I had a case against him when he was in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan. He's always come across as an up-and-up guy, but he's also Trump's personal lawyer and the person who was sent to interview Ghislaine Maxwell as a result of this public furor over the lack of files being released. So, in the end, I think it's going to be much ado about nothing, and I don't think any files are being released.
All right, Vinoo, thank you so much for coming on. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.